Hey, welcome back. Video 3 of 3. This one, just like I stated yesterday, is all about moving from fear into confidence, certainty, calm, whatever those good feelings are that are in you, okay? Fear is the number one thing that holds us back. Most of fear is make-believe, and most of fear is from a prior experience. So I'm going to ask you to do two things. One, be honest with yourself. You don't have to fib or not be honest for any reason, right? There's no hiding. Two, don't judge what you think, what you write, and what you feel. There's no judgment in, like, if you go back through these questions and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I even do that? That was stupid. Why? No. We're just finding a way to look at this situation in your life like you're in the corner of the room and you're just looking down. You're just observing. And when we can observe ourselves, we come from a place of love and compassion, not judgment. So the two things, be honest with yourself and don't judge yourself, okay? If you feel like you want to get pen and paper out, fine. If you want to come back to this later, awesome. I would recommend just kind of be in a quiet space. I would also recommend to spend a bit of time connecting, whether it's through breath, meditation, prayer, something to calm that stressy mind and that stressy brain, because that stressy brain will not be able to connect to your heart center. And that's the whole point, okay? I have two questions that I want you to think about. And this is the start of the process of unleashing fear and maybe bringing it up into the light, up to the surface of the ocean so that you can see it. Because whatever is deep, dark in there, it's hidden, it's been like, oh, I don't want to see this anymore. Whatever's down in there is what actually needs to come up. So having the courage to come through and say, hey, this is what's going on, this is how I feel about it, will be the first step to healing, okay? Number one question is, what are you most afraid of? It's likely that you're gonna ask yourself that from a superficial standpoint first. So you're gonna be like, well, I'm afraid of dogs, or I'm afraid of snakes, and then it's, but why? But what if? Keep on going with that thought process. This may, I mean, you kind of might know, right? And it may take others an hour, days, weeks. The point is that this isn't a task. It's not a, okay, I got to finish this and this and this, and now check, I'm all good. I'm not scared anymore. I don't live in fear. That's not how it is. When we start to uncover and we start to be vulnerable, we start to heal. And that's what it's all about. Healing is a journey. It's a process. It's not a destination. It's not an event. So what are you most afraid of? Number two, how do you compare yourself to others? When you start to work through this question, you're going to get things that you never thought about. So if you're on social media and you're comparing, I don't know, vacation or your spouse or your kids' activities or your job or your financial situation, whatever the case may be, you're going to start to see things pop up and start to be more aware of what you're comparing. This is not a how-to. This is a start of a process, start of a destination. As the process goes, right, we get to the point of, wow, I could release that fear that I've had since I was 5. Things happen as we grow up that we maybe never even knew affect us now. So let's just say in 5th grade, your math teacher told you that you're not very smart and you will never be very smart and you shouldn't ever do anything with math when you get older in your profession. And that has stuck with you forever. Now, if you would be aware that that was an opinion of someone else that you have now adopted to be a belief, you could have let that go a long time ago, but we're not aware of everything. So when things come up then from the time after you're a fifth grader and maybe you're in junior high and you do okay in math, and in high school there's advanced math and you're like, whoa, I better not do that. I'm not good at math. And now you get into ACTs and work and helping your kids with their stuff. It's becoming more evident that you're not good at math. Well, that's what you've allowed that person to tell you, and now you believe about yourself, which is not true. This process, as I start to lay out modules and trainings for what's coming, is to bring you from awareness to and through the process. It's to have access to me through the whole module and the workbook so you can really work through it. Now, is anything ever done? No, just like I said in the beginning, but this is just like the tip of the iceberg. It's like, you know, when I'm adjusting people, I always talk about what you feel is the tip of the iceberg. It's always attached to an emotion. It's attached to the past. It's attached to a lot of things that may be holding you back. It's not about your headaches or your neck pain only, but what else is that telling you? The same thing with fear. When we start to uncover it, what else is that starting to tell you? How can you move through it? What's easy? What's like, whoa, that's a big blow. That's what the trainings are for. That's what the modules are for. And that's what the live calls are for, is to have more access to me so I can help you move through some of that. Otherwise, you get to study on your own. You get to do it on your own, but you get new information every month and new ideas and new implementation tactics and new thoughts about intuition, mindset, growth, expansion, business, leadership, identity, personalities. So many things. I have like 100 topics, okay? That's what we get to really bring the magnifying glass out with. And we get to see it as a one point in your life and work it through the process. So I can't wait for an opportunity to be exposed to you a little bit more often, whether you're getting adjusted and or you're local or you're not, you're across the world. It's a means to have a different perspective on how your mind, body, and soul all work together, and how you can start to up-level yourself to live a more aligned life in every area. So many people have said in the past, well, Tiff, it just can't be like perfect. You can't have everything just perfect. It has nothing to do with perfection ever. It's about me feeling joy and love and support in every single area of my life, which is what I want for everybody. We all have that one area that we might want to focus on first, but as one area of your life changes, everything changes. Your whole life morphs and it pivots as you start to grow or let go of old beliefs or patterns or habits. Remember, 5% of our mind is conscious. 95% is unconscious, subconscious, and it's space, but it's rooted in old patterns and old programs that we can start to reset and retrain. I always talk about retraining and repatterning the mind. Every adjustment does that. It's like a Control-Alt-Delete. This is like a Control-Alt-Delete for your mind, whether or not you are adjusted. If you're adjusted, oh my gosh, you have like double duty on everything, right? Because you get that healing property with a Control-Alt-Delete of the mind and the body. And now you get focused time on you and why you do the things you do and what do you really want to improve. And even if it's 1 hour a month, 2 hours a month, it's more than you've ever done. Maybe it'll be more than that. It just depends on what you want. So below are the details. I'm going to have another video on really what it means and the details of, if you're a founding member, that's a weird word. What it means is you're kind of that first level. You're that first layer of people that I am going to ask questions to. You're going to help me build it out. You're going to help me say what you love and what you don't love. What else should I do? What shouldn't I do? You will have the lowest ever price, and it will never change. You will always be grandfathered. So that's why I call it kind of like the founding fathers, the founding mothers, the founding women. I don't know what that would be called, but it's the ground level. From there, then I will start to create other things that people really want. And I know this, whether you're a grandma, a mom, a girl, everything will impact you in some way. And women, if you do have kids, this is the thing, these are the things that if I were you, would be putting a ton of time and energy into, because they're watching you. And they're watching how you think and how you feel and how you act and all those things that we're like, oh gosh, that doesn't mean it needs to be perfect, remember. But we always need to be growing. Stagnancy is not what we're meant to be put on this earth for. We're meant to make a difference. We're meant to give. We're meant to lead. And so I hope I can be that for you. I hope I can be a beacon of light that can trailblaze the path, and you can find your own path through that light. So if you have any questions, reply back to this email. It goes directly to me. I will ask all questions. I'm also going to tally those questions and do a Q&A if there's enough across the board, or if there's a bunch of questions coming in on the same thing. So don't be shy, just reply. If you have questions and you're like, what are you even talking about, Tiff? Or, hey, I'm used to you live. How is this even going to be beneficial? Or will it work? Or will it be tricky to log in? Like all those things that you might be thinking, I want you to talk to me, and I will have all the answers. Okay. Well, if I don't, Lindy does, my right hand, if you don't know her quite yet. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your commitment to yourself, and knowing that your commitment to yourself will make your family, your community, the world a much better place. Sounds cliche, but it is true. And especially at this time, we need kindness, we need compassion, we need joy, we need self-love, we need confidence. And that will start to transform yourself. That'll transform your family, our communities, and our world. So I love you as always.